This is 7th grade math help on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. The rules are different, so you have to be very careful on which rules you use. Here is subtraction. The rule for subtraction and addition is the same. It is vitally important that you make sure your decimals and your place values line up. So I've got to make sure that my decimals line up, my ones line up, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and on the decimal side, my tenths, hundredths, thousandths line up. Everything must line up, so I can just bring the decimal straight down. The other thing I can do is NX zeros, which just means to add zeros at the end of a number when I need to. And in this case, I need to, because I have to subtract this 1/1000ths. So I borrow. My 2 becomes a 1. I borrow 1 from it. 10 minus 1 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 1 minus 7, oh, I got to borrow again. I'm going to borrow 1 from this 2 and make it a 1. 11 minus 7 is 4, and 1 minus nothing is 1. So my answer is 14.109. Now if I were estimating to start, I would take 21 minus 7, 14. Yeah, that's a reasonable answer. But I'm going to check it just to make sure. So I'll do this problem in reverse. 14.109 plus 7.211 should equal the original number, 21.320. So let's find it out. I'm going to make sure my decimals all line up and add them. 14.109 plus 7.211. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry my 1. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. The decimals line up. That automatically moves down. 4 plus 7 is 11, so I carry my 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. 21.320. That means I did the problem correctly. Next up is multiplication. Multiplication, the rule is different. You do not align your decimals. You do not. You do something with the decimals afterwards. So you're going to multiply these like they're normal whole numbers and then place the decimal based on how many decimal places you have here. So right here I have 2 decimal places, 1, 2. And in this number I have 2 decimal places, 1, 2. So after I multiply everything together, I'm going to move my decimal. I'm going to put it 4 decimal places into the number. But let me just start by estimating. I'm just going to say 3 times 7. My answer should be around 21, approximately 21. If I don't get 21, then I am way off. I did something wrong. So I'll just multiply these normally. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Now I add a 0 to hold the place. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to carry that 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. And 3 times 3 is 9. Now I'm going to add 2 zeros to hold this place. 7 times 5 is 35, so that's 5. I'm going to carry that 3. 7 times 2 is 14, 15, 16, 17. 7, I'm going to carry my 1. And 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. Now I add all those together. I've got them lined up real nice. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 12. 7 plus 5 is 12. 13, 14, 15. Carry my 1. 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 7 is 17. Carry my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus nothing is 2. So remember, I had 4 decimal places here, so now I've got to place my decimal point 4 decimal places from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes right there. My estimate was 21. My answer here is 23. So it looks like this is a reasonable answer. If I had made a mistake and put my decimal place right here for some reason, I would be looking at that saying, wait a minute, 2,375 is not even close to 7 times 3. I need to do something else. But that's the key there, is to move the decimal point based on, or to place the decimal point based on how many decimal places you have in the problem originally. Division. Division is also different. You do the decimal movement first. You don't do it last like in multiplication, you do it first. So what I've got to do is make this number into a whole number. And I would do that by multiplying by 10. If you multiply it by 10, you're just moving the decimal point. So I would make this 73. I'm actually going to move the decimal point, multiply it by 10, move the decimal point one space. I can do that as long as I multiply this number by 10 also, moving the decimal point one space. So what I'm left with is 73 goes into 335.8. I've made my divisor a whole number. Once you've done that, once you've made your divisor a whole number, you place your decimal. All you do is move it up. You place your decimal. That's where the decimal point's going to go. And now I do long division like I normally would. So 73, does that go into 33 any times? No. Does it go into 335? Let's see, I'm going to guess that it goes into 335 4 times. So 4 times 3 is 12. Carry my 1. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Now I got to subtract. Let's see, 5 minus 2 is 3. I'm going to have to borrow for this one, making that a 2. 13 minus 9 is 4. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So now I bring down my 8. 73 is going to go into, let's see, if it were 5 times, that would be right around 350. If it were 6 times, that would be right around 420. So I'm going to guess 6. I'm going to guess it goes into, 73 goes into 438 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry my 1. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. Ah, good. I'm left with 0. That means I'm done. I've got 4.6 is my answer for 7.3, or it should say 33.58 divided by 7.3. You know what I should do is check that. Why don't I take 7.3 times the answer that I got, 4.6, and multiply it together. Now remember, I will place the decimal based on how many decimal places I have in the original problem. So it looks like I'm going to place my decimal 2 decimal places in, because I have 1 here and 1 there. So that's going to be 2 decimal places. So I'll multiply normally. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry my 1. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus 1 is 43. Put that 0 as my placeholder. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 1 is 29. I can add them all together. I get 8. Plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 9 is 13. Carry my 1. I got 3358, and I'm placing my decimal point 1, 2 spaces in. I get 33.58. So I did it right. Be careful about your rules, and thank you for watching this video.